Turning now to a topic that is raw and real for so many families and sometimes difficult to talk about. Too often the stigma surrounding mental illness holds them back from sharing their stories. But not Josie Thompson. The 27-year-old blogger is on a mission to spread joy. It's a passion that grew out of her personal struggle. Josie's inspiring story and spirit are captured in a video by videographer Jake Johnson. Take a look.
My name is Josie Thompson. I'm from Mesa, Arizona, and this is my story. I grew up playing sports and real involved in music, got good grades. When I was 19 years old, I started having a terribly difficult time getting out of bed, and I didn't know why or what was going on, other than to describe it as this darkness. Well, after visiting with several different doctors and specialists, it was originally diagnosed as just major depression, but then later it was diagnosed as bipolar 2. I tried to go to school, and I couldn't. I tried to serve a mission, and I couldn't. I even shortly after ended up getting engaged, broke it off. It's fine. Couldn't do that either. So I was feeling like a major failure. After breaking off that engagement, I decided to take a long road trip, which ended up turning into a 3-month journey that changed my life. I drove across the country. I visited over 30 states. I talked to well over 600 people. I lived out of my car. I slept in my trunk. I slept at truck stops. I interviewed perfect strangers. I asked them about their lives, the lessons they had learned, the regrets they had, the advice they would give. I wanted to help not only the people I interviewed, but the people reading on my blog as I would document along the way. I wanted everyone to know that you have a reason to live. Well, now we're doing a third project. We're gonna go to the Philippines. And I'm still gonna ask these people what brings them joy. But the idea is we'll actually get to bring them joy. We're gonna be doing a humanitarian project where we're going to serve in orphanages, help build schools, do typhoon relief, and hopefully serve these people in whatever capacity we can, and ultimately bring them joy.
Josie's courage is an inspiration to anyone struggling to find joy in their own lives. And she joins me now in studio as Josie Thompson. Solomon, congratulations on your recent wedding. That's so exciting, that change in your life. I'm so impressed with you. I'm so impressed with you. And already just chatting in the last couple of minutes, I sense such a great energy about you. And that came in a lot of work.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
You are quick to acknowledge that although you're on this personal mission to find joy, joy doesn't always come naturally for you. Is it still a daily effort?
Absolutely. Every single day wages a literal life and death struggle in my life. But the great thing about joy that I've discovered is joy can be created even when you can't feel it.
Even when it's not an emotion necessarily, it can be created in what? How do you create that joy? What have you discovered?
I have learned that for me, joy takes faith. So even though I can't always feel it, I've learned that joy is possible in darkness. And one of the greatest ways to create joy is to serve others and to look outward.
This project, you've labeled Project 444.
The 444 Project.
The 444
yes.
Project, thank you. What does that stand for?
We have a family scripture, Alma 44:4, but it's just a promise made to the faithful, those who endure, God will support. So
you hopped in the car and you set out, you interviewed, how many people would you say?
The goal was 444 people.
That was the number.
But I ended up on the first project interviewing over 600.
600 people. Did anything surprise you, Josie, about what you learned about how other people view happiness and joy?
Absolutely. It's interesting. I found a lot of fundamental similarities, but also a lot of fundamental differences from demographic to demographic. But the underlying similarity, I would say a universal concept, I learned that every single person, no matter where they've gone, no matter where they're going or where they've been, every person experiences darkness to one degree or another. Everybody has some type of formidable darkness that will come in waves in their life, but everybody also needs light. That light is also a universal concept that everybody needs, but light means different things to different people. But I've learned that since I have this trial of darkness, it can pertain and it can relate to everybody. That I can be a source of light through making my trial, this opposition into an opportunity, and I can still serve.
And as you talk about service being kind of a conduit to that light, right? A way to get to that light, to counter the darkness that everyone experiences, as you've said. What do you think it is about service that is such an antidote for those darker feelings?
I think it's looking outside yourself. I think it's fixating and focusing on something that doesn't have something to do with you. It's something bigger, to be part of something bigger. And when you invest yourself in somebody else and you really put their well-being and their welfare before your own, I think that's when magic starts to happen.
We mentioned your marriage, which is so exciting and worthy of celebrating. What's next for you on the personal front?
You know what? We just barely bought our first house last week.
Congratulations.
In Springville. Thank you. We're very excited. We are still moving in. And
it's a process, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure in a year I'll be singing the same tune.
And you're about to head out on another humanitarian project.
Yes, we will be doing our 4th project now. We're headed to Tanzania next month. So
well, I admire your light. So thank you for sharing and your courage as well. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.